Hello, you are listening to the Gamer Librarian Podcast, the best podcast you can find on this side of the multiverse. I am your host, Adrian, and today I will be talking about the end of the year 2024, Squid Game Season 2, and more. Afterwards, be sure to subscribe to be notified when future episodes are released and show your support by liking and leaving a comment. Thank you for joining. And this is a little bittersweet because this is the last Friday that the podcast might be recorded on, at least for a while. The plan is to switch over to Mondays starting the 3rd. I think January 3rd is the first Monday right there in January. So we're going to be doing that. That's when the first episode's coming out. And, we're also trying to make the switch to live streaming, YouTube, Twitch, not just games, but the podcast as well. See how that goes. We might do some testing this week and just see if things work and keep the ball rolling once the new year rolls around. So the year has come to an end, and I think we've gotten pretty far. So, looking at the episodes that we have out here, um, about a year ago, we'll see the Game Awards was like the Mortal Kombat announcement, I guess. And then, right, we played Alan Wake, and then the Mario RPG, I think, released right on the Game Awards. And then we started reading a lot more manga. Like, we really got set up into the reading stuff. We did all of Berserk. That was fantastic. Sadly, Akira Toriyama passed, and we played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Red Dragon Ball, and the Journey to the West, just because Black Myth Wukong came out this year. We still haven't finished that. That's going to be coming up as soon as we kill Luis in Metaphor Tazio. We'll talk about that in a minute. But, we gotten pretty far. Red Star Troopers, Long Walk, played some Diablo 2, and, a little bit of Diablo 4, I think was just a little bit earlier. And I don't know, after Path of Exile 2, I'm still really excited to play more of that game. So, not really gung ho to go back to Diablo 4 or even Diablo 2 for right now. I'm really liking Path of Exile. And I want to get back to Final Fantasy. We only really got around to Stormblood earlier in the year. That's crazy. The RPG for that came out. And then they had the announcements for Gears of War E-Day. We're still waiting that for that. Dragon Aid's Veil Guard. That's like the name change, I think, around that time. That came out. Like the announcements for the name came out. And then obviously the game came out earlier this year, like September or October, and it was not a good time. Bolt Gun we played, Dragon Age stuff we were gearing for that. A big disappointment, right? It's almost kind of like forgotten in my mind, like how much I just already just put stat out of my life. I was like so gung ho for this game series, and I was like here we are. It's crazy. And then like Black with Wukong, I think had like an announcement. Or that might have been when it came out actually, just around the time. Yeah, Space Marine 2, yeah, we started doing that. JoJo's we were reading, and then that was really great. JoJo's, I really, really enjoyed all of that. And we still haven't really gotten into the JoJo's, the video game, the RPG with my friend Gio. The Marvel's Capcom Fighting Collection came out. That game is so fun. I love playing on it on my Switch. And the Marvel's Capcom Infinite got a mod from Maximilian Dude and the big community out there for modding and just giving life to a game series, in my opinion, and just making it enjoyable for everybody. And that's just really great. So that's really great to see. Core Keeper was such a great game. I would love to get back into that. I think it's got a DLC update. So that's definitely a really good excuse. That and like Power World got DLC updates. We did a lot of Junji Ito. Yeah, that was really great for October. Romina, I just got a Junji Ito Christmas gift from a friend. That was really great. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Hopefully sooner than October, but we'll see. And then House of Leaves, that was awesome. Gave that to somebody as a white elephant gift. We were in a big racing phase, Drivers D. That was really fun. I don't really know where the manga is, currently. I just, I don't really want to spend all my time trying to find it, and it wasn't all that interesting, but I was really, really into it at the time. I would love to get back to it, in the future. But, Zatch Bell, Hunter x Hunter were calling my name. That was such a treat to get to experience Zatch Bell again, specifically. Because watching that as a kid, I have a lot of fond memories of that show and getting to actually experience the story through the manga side of it. And then the sequel, not even to mention the sequel, how awesome that is. And Hunter x Hunter was great. I'm not like in the current arc it is now, but I'm still excited to see where it is. So we'll go back to Hunter x Hunter intermittently with obviously Vinland Saga, and I would like to get into Dan to Dan manga right into the future. But we're doing a whole bunch of stuff, whole bunch of stuff. And yeah, this year has been really good for manga and for games, I think. Even though I'm a little behind on games and a lot further in manga than I thought I would be this year, it's actually pretty wild what kind of switch that was. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to 2025. It's going to be really, really fun. Hoping to live stream a lot more games. That's kind of really the goal, specifically games, and maybe try to do the podcast live and see how that goes. That might be really fun. Do some interactive stuff with whatever chats might be up. And yeah, just to round out the year for the games that I'm currently on, I did take some time to play a new game when I couldn't play on the consoles or the laptop stuff. I had a phone, right? Because the phone's a lot easier, accessible, and I think phone games are obviously the future. We want to be able to play games like in a very small and like contained device while where we're going, not maybe just always on the couch with a controller or like VR is a big thing. I'm a big fan of all types of gaming out there, so like even phone games are fun. And I only got Slay the Spire because it was just a little more sense than the version that was on like Steam. At the time, I only looked up what was the Steam version. I don't know if it was on the console or anything, but the Steam version was like $15 initially, and the sale brought it down to like just almost six flat. But the mobile version was like $1 more, like 40 cents more. So I bought the mobile version because I could play it there. And I only tried out three of the classes so far. I never got the fourth one, the Watcher. My favorite is the defect. I like the charges, building up the charges and using those to kind of be very versatile in your gameplay. I never really play those utility like consumable character types in most games. Usually I play like a mage. So maybe that's what the Watcher is initially, but I really like the defect. Maybe the defect kind of like the mage, but I don't really feel like it is the mage. It plays weird. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed Slay the Spire, and I know that the sequel comes out maybe next year, whatever they're doing. And my friends were talking about this game earlier when I was playing with them, so I just downloaded it. It was pretty fun. Looking forward to it in the future. And while we were over at my girlfriend's, Christmas party stuff, we were playing Jackbox. I downloaded that game for them, and I played a few of these games before initially. Quiplash obviously is a big classic. True Mario Party, of course. Espionage, I don't know if I've played once, but TKO is a really fun one with the drawing stuff. I really enjoy that those kind of games. That was really enjoyable. And then Faking It, really great time. It's always nice to get a chance to play those like party games with, almost anybody, even though they don't play games a lot. Like not a lot of her family plays video games. So it's just enjoyable to get a chance to do that. And then I'm gonna try and do Metaphor and Black Myth Wukong eventually. Metaphor, I'm right there. Like I'm right on Lewis's doorstep. I'm pretty sure I just have to get there. Probably not tonight, but it will be over the weekend if, at some point. We'll see what happens. And then, the girlfriend and I were doing Portal 2 and It Takes Two. Those are pretty much our games that we're doing right now. And, for the future, I don't think any of the games specifically have release dates except for like the three I have right here. And that's Sid Meier's Civilization 7. So I'm a big fan of the Civ games. I've been a big fan of Sid Meier's games for a while, back to like his pirate games that he used to have. I have on the PSP. Really great. You can even download, I think, the Xbox Game Pass still, which is awesome. So go check that out. And then Assassin's Creed Shadows, that comes out February as well. Now, I'm not really keen on getting that game and playing it, but I am keen on seeing like where it goes and how it releases. I know there's a lot of controversy on it, but it's still a video game, and there's a lot of contention about it. But my biggest interest in it is seeing what kind of DLC they kind of choose for its inevitability if they ever release the game. They might not, but the current Assassin's Creed stuff usually has the DLC around like mythological stuff, and I'm excited to see what they might do with that because maybe it might be Black Myth Wukong, and that would be pretty crazy considering a lot of things that happened in 2024. So who could really say? And then Monster Hunter Wilds. Wasn't a big Monster Hunter fan before when I played Worlds, but I don't think I really even got that far, even though it was maybe like 10 or 11 hours into it. And yeah, I'm like to go back to one of the Monster Hunter games in the future before that game comes out, and then do Monster Hunter Wilds with friends and stuff in a more open time. But right now, I'm on current games, and we got to get through those. And uh, besides video games, there's a lot of stuff that I've been reading, and we've been doing a series that we haven't gotten to like talk about a whole lot, and that's the Absolute series. The absolute DC series has been such a phenomenal treat to read. I don't like reading issue by issue stuff, but I am gung ho on keeping up with this series specifically because I like the retelling kind of these certain characters. You know, things are certainly a little similar in some ways, but they have a cool, decent spin on it. Um, Now, the one that came out this week, I guess, is Absolute Wonder Woman 3. I wasn't expecting one to come out, and I was just checking just because, and I read it like this morning. And so this one is, one of my favorites so far. It's sick. Um, Wonder Woman has like a cool explanation explaining the Tetracide, which is like a big monster. The way this monster kills things is awesome. There's even a cool panel explaining it, very like Hercules-esque, kind of like the animated movie. It's so good. And then she doesn't have a arm. Not a big spoiler, but she doesn't have one. It seems pretty cool, like a disabled kind of superhero here. Like I like that. That's really awesome. So I think what After Wonder Woman has become my favorite out of the three so far because she's fighting some really cool stuff and she's doing really cool things. Batman's doing Batman stuff, and then Superman is definitely a little more slower than the other two, at least for right now. It doesn't feel as like intense, but I'm still all for this entire series. I'm liking the spin on them. I would love to see these characters interact with each other, form a team. The Justice League might be a thing. That'd be awesome. This is supposed to be a take on the Marvel, not the Invincible series, but the whatever the Maximum stuff was. It's supposed to kind of be a mimic on that, but like a smart retelling of it. But I'm enjoying it. It's been really fun. This came out this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in plan for next year. Um, so manga, we're been caught up on Vinland Saga, and we did a poll, and I wasn't really sure what to do because there's some shows that we want to watch together, like anime stuff. So I, put on the poll some of the manga that I haven't given a chance to fully delve into yet, and then one of them is like Chainsaw Man. I'm further than I've ever been in Chainsaw Man. Chapter 6, hell yeah, give me a high five. But yeah, chapter 6 is only uh not too far, and I'm debating on maybe giving the anime a try with Hannah, but that might be in the future. I'm not necessarily keen on the main character. That's kind of what was the big turn off on me before when I was reading the manga. So initially, we might see what happens. Um, but we're not too far into it. I'm liking the side characters. The second female was just introduced. I think this is like maybe the more love interest from what I've seen from like the memes and stuff online. But I'm very excited to see where the action goes. The panels have been really awesome and intense. This is probably the anime that I'm more keen on like watching while I'm reading and seeing where that goes because I want to see what the animation style looks like. So maybe tonight we'll give some of that a try. And then Wild Strawberry, Chapter 37 came out. Black Lily. It's something's happening here. I mean, the exam was literal farming. Like if you're caught up on Wild Strawberry, the exam was just literal farming, and I'm all for it. I want to know what happened but like the whole timeline between this entire like series because I'm really keen on learning about the Jinka and how everything plays out with like the Black Lily, the origins of the Jinka, and then like the humans who can't control it and how they even knew about it, how they got to where they are. It's crazy. But it launched chapter 37. No anime has been announced for it. I'm loving it. It's so fun. Looking forward to that next year. And then obviously One Piece has been kicking it strong. We had the Owl Library. Not a lot of mention about it, but the chapter was really kind of, titled that. And we met Ripley. She's like a giant. And then there's like more new characters being introduced, kind of. Loki is like teasing some kind of revenge thing, and obviously he's gonna break out, right? Like he's a prisoner, so obviously he's gonna break out. And it's just crazy that this like we're here in like the manga world, and I'm enjoying it. I've never enjoyed manga so much in my life, and it's just been such a great time. I'm gonna try my best to keep up on them as much as possible. Now, that's enough about manga. So let's get into almost something else. So Dragon Ball, right? It's basically the same thing we all talked about before. Dragon Ball Daima, episode 12. Oh man, I didn't think they would do anything like fan servicey that was like obviously I'm not talking about like anything gross or anything like that. I mean like they weren't going to do like Vegeta singing again, or they were going to do something like maybe like a returning character like secretly. I don't know, right? But they did something else this episode, and Vegeta got his due. That's literally all I gotta say about Ball Daima. Maybe you saw the Twitter post I made about it or whatever, but it's such a great time to be able to watch and talk about this show because seeing like the little additions that are added to the show, just the new characters, obviously the Majin characters, and the new moments has been really nice. The animation obviously isn't like as intense as maybe the older shows or maybe even the movies now, but it's definitely still solid. I'm definitely still enjoying it. It's amazing. Good show. So looking forward to what Dragon Ball Daima has to show in the new year. And so something that I think we'll probably not see for another 2 years, right? This is another TV show. Came out very recently, about 2 days ago, maybe yesterday. And that's Squid Game Season 2. My only expectation for the show at the very least was new games, and they hit that. They added new games and they had really cool dynamics. My favorite thing about the season initially, this isn't really big spoilers, but what they add is that they vote almost every time in between games, not 1-to-1 every time, but they vote a much more consistent time than the first season. And I really like that dynamic because they even handed out patches to people to display who they voted for, or like what side they voted for, like red and blue kind of stuff. And I don't know, I really enjoyed that. I kind of thought that made the game really dynamic and really enjoyable. The characters this time around were really, really intense. They had some more modern characters. The TikTokers were obviously great. And then my favorite was the mom and the son. Looking forward to seeing what is in the future for season two. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the season ending or anything like that. It's just more of the same. It's just another Squid Game. But they had more games, and there's still a mystery. We don't know what's going on. It's insane, and I had a great time with it. I don't know what they're going to do for like the game. I don't like they're making a phone game or a Netflix game, right? That's pretty crazy. And you know what we did watch? We watched Sonic 3 after paying for it twice. We finally got to watch it, and then the movie was great. It actually had obviously a lot of great songs returned, and I think Keanu Reeves's voice acting for Shadow is kind of on point. I feel like it doesn't really have oomph or impact. I haven't really played a Sonic game where Shadow was voice acted in a very long time. I don't even necessarily remember how he sounds in the PS2 game, but they did the thing. They had a really cool reference to the entirety of Shadow the Hedgehog, and I think that was his movie. Um, Not a whole lot of context between Dr. Eggman and his lineage, but even Dr. Eggman, Jim Carrey carried the movie flat out, and it was really enjoyable. Obviously, I think there's gonna be Sonic 4. I would love there to be a Sonic 4, and I know that a lot of Sonic games have come out recently, so maybe next year we'll give more Sonic games a try. I never necessarily finished a lot of the older Sonic games, or even a lot of the more newer, like side-scrolling ones. I've only ever done Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Heroes, the Adventure series, and like the Werewolf game, and whatever the Wii ones were, the Rings and the Black Sword, right? Those were really fun still really fun, really fun. And for like TV shows, I literally just saw this today, but it was like a trailer for, I guess, a show that came out like 2 years ago called Pantheon, animated about AI. I think that's pretty cool. That's basically it for like, the TV shows or all that coming out. I don't think I'm necessarily interested in what's coming out soon. I did hear stuff about like Scream, but we'll keep waiting for Scream if until they like give Nev Campbell her due and bring her back. I think that's only fair, but they're probably not going to do that. And yeah, that's pretty much the only update I necessarily have. There's not going to be a whole lot else coming out for the foreseeable future, and like no game announcements, no game showcases, nothing. I'm gonna try maybe be a little more up on like manga releases see when they come out, and then like maybe a few comics. And we're gonna try and live stream a few stuff, see what we're gonna do. I have a few things planned, something that's gonna make next year really, really enjoyable. So I hope you all have a lovely new year. Hope you all had a really great Christmas, and I will see you all 2025. Thank you for joining.